up, guys? Happy Sunday. It's Sunday. I'm still trying to set things up here on my side, but I keep having little glitches there with my little waiting room lobby thing. Don't know why it doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see if it wants to. It keeps going away. Why does it keep doing that? Wait, I got it. I fixed it. Alright guys, 1:37 p.m. Let's get the ball rolling here. Happy to see you guys here on a Sunday on a random just live stream. I was actually outside doing some yard work, fixing up some stuff, and I was like, you know what? There's just too much fuss going on with this SVB fiasco. We're gonna have to do a quick live stream here and then go over a little bit on, just superficial what happened with that Silicon Valley Bank, and then talk about what the possible expectations are for the week, right? I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff that went wrong here, guys. So first of all, let me fix this light. This thing is just all over the place. So you have this bank that has an amazing amount of money, right? From mainly startup and a lot of tech companies, right? Roku on its own had about, I want to say 26% of its cash there. You're talking about billions of dollars. Insane. So with that said, Roku definitely has to be kept on watch starting tomorrow for downside. You have to understand that FDIC insurance on this is $250,000. So if you had $250,000 at this bank, then you're pretty much set in the sense that tomorrow, Monday, you should be able to access that, if not sometime this week, and take your 250K out of that bank. The rest of it, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you're gonna have to probably talk to the bank, talk to the lawyer, talk to the government, and all that good stuff, and see what happens there. Definitely talk to lawyers. Outside of that, you had a lot of businesses that they don't have any money left. All their money was there. You're talking about millions, tens of millions, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars tied up in that bank. And these businesses, mainly a lot of them being tech businesses, are unable to raise more capital because we all know how tech is suffering right now. With tech suffering, you have this business now, you know, that needs cash for payroll, for rent, for utilities, for product, for research, for advertising, and their money is gone. It's gone. It's just not there. So that's going to be a big problem for most of these. It's going to be a huge problem for most of these businesses. I mean, Roku alone with 26% of its cash tied up on that is insane. So moving into this week here, what's to be expected? Well, I think we're going to have some downside followed by a bounce on the SPY. I really do. Why do I think that? It's really simple. Now you're going to have the Fed has basically been painted into a corner. They've been painted into a corner where they're going to be like, damn, man, if we raise rates again really, really hard, you know, this is going to get nasty real fast. You know, we might even see another one of these banks go under. So why did these banks go under? Simple. They had an amazing amount of their money, of your money, in bonds. And this is bonds they bought at the peak. Bonds that now are basically worthless, right? And then what happened? You had people come to the bank, right? Businesses start pulling out money. Why? Because they need it for operational purposes. And then all of a sudden the CEO starts calling up businesses, hey, your money's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. You're all good here. That causes a little bit of concern, and concern quickly turns into panic. Why? Because we're talking about loads of money, and that's all being tied up there. People's livelihoods, people's everything, right? That caused a bank run. And when that bank run happened, that bank was like, well, I don't have enough money to give you all your money right now. Why? Because we do fractional banking here, meaning that banks only need to have about 10% of what your total is available to give to you when you request it. The rest of it is out in investments. Typically speaking, it's these types of investments that are typically, when managed correctly, spread out, and the bank has plenty of income coming, so your money is generally pretty damn safe. And if you're 250K or under, you're FDIC insured. Now, the Fed is going to be now like, damn, I hope CPI comes in. I think CPI is Tuesday. I hope CPI comes in light, because if CPI comes in heavy and we got to raise rates even more, like we're already planning, like Jerome already said when he testified before Congress last week, then things are going to get crazy. And this is great because it's going to give us intense volatility that's going to be there for us, right? For us to be able to take advantage of. So I'm really looking forward to this week. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the SPY, we're going to dive into the futures, we're going to dive into Roku, and we're going to take a look at some names, identify some levels, take some questions, and move on with this short live stream, all right? Let me go take a quick look here on chat, guys, see what you guys are typing up, because I see that chat going wild. The beast, we got to go to work in 2 minutes. Man, it's already Monday over there, isn't it? The music's still on? No! And it's off. Man, I wish I would have seen that beforehand. Nah, Jonal's driving. Jonal's driving. Wow. All right, well, I'm not going to go off on that rant again. The beauty of live. That's awesome. Nah, Jonal's not around. Jonal's driving. Jonal doesn't do anything on these lives, man. I do all this stuff. I do everything here with the software. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look here. Let's just go. Obviously, futures are closed, But let's go take a look here. We're going to see where futures open up at. Okay, let's turn this into a daily chart. We had that quick move down here on Friday, all the way down here to a low of 38.4625. I don't think we have major support until we get down here to 3800 level. I mean, this was a really nice level here. We were bear flagging and we just broke off that level, pushed up there to 4200s. So I would not be surprised to see tomorrow a gap down, right? I don't know how bad the gap down could be. Maybe we gap down under 3850, make a run to 3800 before we bounce off that level there and make a move back up. Right, that could be something that we see Monday ahead of CPI data, right? As we start to get a little bit of a possible relief bounce. So that's one thing I would be looking at on the futures. Now, resistance points, major resistance, probably, those 3900, for sure the 3900 area is going to be a major resistance point. You have all this previous resistance right in here, right? And prior to that, it was an area of support right here on the 19th. So you had resistance there between December 19th all the way into January 6th. Then it turned into support January 10th into January 19th. We got off that level and pushed. Remember, this is a daily chart on the ES, and we haven't been back down here since. The first time we get back down here, we slice right through it and get all the way down here to 3850, 3840s. So depending where we open up, if we open up under 3840s, 3850 area, if we open up underneath that, I think, it's pretty much a straight shot down to 3800 for a retest. If we open above 3850, then I think we just go to that 3900 area to test it, and we'll see how we act up there. If we can get back up over 3900 and hold, then I think you really got some room there that can cause some sort of possible chop. All right, but yeah, 3900 I would say major resistance, 3800 major support, and then everything else in between could be just a little bit choppy, a little bit of minor levels. But those are the two major levels I would be watching this week on the ES. Let me see here. All right. Okay, so those are the two levels I would be eyeing for sure. Now let's hop on over real quick, right back to the SPY. And let's turn this into a daily chart. Okay, so the daily chart here, you have basically, obviously, it looks extremely identical, right? You have 385, which was recently a level, major level here of resistance, right? It was a major level here. And back here, it was a level of support. So you have support here, you have resistance here, you have some really choppy structure right there, then you have again resistance in here along with some structure, then you have resistance, then you have support on Friday. So my thought process is extremely simple. If we open up and we're over this level, watching for a bounce back like that. If we open up underneath that level, watching for a drop like that. Either way, I kind of expect the same size move, right? Either way, I kind of expect that same size move. I don't expect anything bigger, anything smaller. I'm basically expecting that size of a move. Either we go test 390 or we go test 380. I would not really expect 390 to break and do something like that any more than I would expect 380 to break and do something wild like that. I kind of expect both levels to hold ahead of CPI data. Now let me take a quick look at something here. Okay, so CPI is going to be on March 14th, which is Tuesday. Exactly what I said earlier. It's Tuesday. So I'd expect us to do one of those two moves tomorrow. It's a sizable move, but I wouldn't expect any huge range if we, like, I wouldn't expect us to break over 390 any more than I would expect us to break under 380, because of the simple fact that I think we're going to have the bigger move probably after CPI on Tuesday morning. Okay, Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m. That's when we get CPI. That's when I'll be definitely watching for the bigger move on the SPY. So now let's talk about that, right? If CPI comes in flaming hot, then let's say we were here, right? Monday, we get a nasty CPI data. I think we gap down underneath that level. We come here and we test 375. Now, I think that 375 holds support. Why? We haven't been underneath 375 in quite a while. And 375 has been a major level before. Look at this resistance here at 375. We briefly got underneath it, bang, right back up over it. And we came and tested it, bang, right back off of it. Like instantly almost, right? That's what you want to see from a support level. So I think 375 would hold support. And I think you could probably get yourself something like this. You could probably see something like this happen. Monday, right? Gap down, sell off into 380. Tuesday, stick 375. And then bang, you get a nice little bounce. Now, that all depends, obviously, on where we are, right? If we're under 385 or if we're over it. If we're over 385 tomorrow morning, that I think we get an instant bounce tomorrow and we go right to 390, which would lead to a different scenario for CPI Tuesday. CPI comes in flaming hot. I think this bounce back would sell off rather aggressively. And then that could lead into, you know, maybe something like this. Wednesday, Thursday, maybe a smaller day, and then Friday, bang. You could lead into a bear flag formation like that this week, right? If it wouldn't have been for this whole bank fiasco thing, I think this week we would have had the opportunity for an easier bounce, but I think we could still get a bounce. It's just going to depend on how everything's handled and how CPI data comes out. If CPI data comes in line with expectation, right? If later this week jobs data come in line with expectation, don't be surprised if we're right here again and we're testing these moving averages. Don't be surprised at all if you get, you know, your 100-day moving average is like that there, your 200 is right around here, and you do something like this, right? Don't be surprised if you get some action Monday, Tuesday, maybe we pierce, and then before you know it, bang, Wednesday and Thursday. Don't be surprised to see that any more than you would be surprised to see, you know, the downside move we talked about. That's why as traders, we're always going to be reactive and we're always going to respect our stop loss areas. All right, now let's go take a look at Roku. Because Roku, we've just discovered, has 26% of its capital at this bank. So we definitely want to go take a quick look at that. One second here. Okay, so we know Roku has a lot of money there. Now let's go ahead and identify some levels on Roku to watch. I think Roku tomorrow is a short. I would imagine it gives you a sizable gap down, right? If it doesn't give you a sizable gap down, which I doubt, right? And if you doubt it doesn't give you a sizable gap down, then please do me a quick favor and hit the like button, because you got to feed the YouTube algorithm and its overlords. Here at $62, look at this previous resistance. It was previously also a level of support. Resistance, resistance, support, right? So you have all that level there that I would definitely watch. what was it on Friday? Guys, again, a level of resistance. So if somehow you get up in there or you open up near there and you get a little push, I would be looking to short in front of that. I would definitely be looking to short in front of that. Now, anything else could get rather choppy. But I would definitely be watching Roku to possibly get itself back down here towards like 47 to 48. For sure. I would be watching for Roku to get back down there this week. I don't know how or when it'll get down there, but I would be watching for that level to hold resistance for a fade that gets it back down here. I would not be surprised to see Roku, you know, open up down here on Monday, tomorrow, and then before you know it, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that out of Roku. It wouldn't surprise me. Any more than it would surprise me to just see a straight sell-off tomorrow, right? Bang. But I do expect that $48 range to get tested by Roku. Yo, Roman. What's up? What's up? So I would definitely be watching those levels on the ES. I would be watching 3,800 for major support, 3,900 for major resistance, then 3,850 as a minor level. I'd be watching on the SPY 390 resistance. Okay, I'd be watching 390 resistance on the SPY. I'd be watching 385. 385 is crucial. For me on Monday anyways, if we open above 385, I'm watching for a bounce. If we open underneath 385, then I'm watching for a sell-off to 380. Then on Tuesday, we get that CPI data. I think that's the bigger day with more continuation. So that's what I'll be watching for out of the ES and out of the SPY. I'm probably not going to be trading Roku, but if I was, I'd be watching for it to get back down there to 48. Right? From 50 to 48, that range down here, this lower end of this previous channel. Let's erase all of this real quick and let's redraw it. Right? Here's that previous channel. Let's scroll back before all of this happened. See how Roku was trading inside this channel? I would expect Roku to at least get back to the bottom end of this channel. Right now, we're at the top end of the channel. Well, we were on Friday anyways. At the top end of that channel, I would be watching to see Roku get back down here to the bottom end of that channel and test that. Depending how bad this is going to be for them, it wouldn't surprise me to see it break underneath that channel and maybe even get down here and go test those previous lows. You got to remember, man, Roku has 26% of their money tied up in that bank. Let's see how much that is. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so Roku held approximately $487 million of its $1.9 billion in cash at Silicon Valley. Bro, that's nearly $500 million that Roku possibly lost. Can you imagine? You had $500 million at that bank and then tomorrow morning you call, FDIC is like, oh, sure, we're going to send you $250,000. What? That is wild, man. I think we're in for a crazy rest of the month. And I think this year just got started. This is wild, man. This is crazy. This is the second biggest bank run that we've seen basically in modern history. They're auctioning SVB assets right now. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. Well, the problem is, mate, the problem is that money just wasn't there. You know, when you put your money in a bank, that bank loans out your money, invests your money. Banks are only required to have about 10% of the money you put in the bank. They're only required to have about 10% of that available to give to you at, you know, basically almost a moment's notice, right? So what we practice here is fractional banking, really. So SVB had put the majority of their money into bonds when bonds were basically paying next to nothing, but it was the top at the moment, right? It was before the Fed started raising rates, before all these bonds started to get more expensive. So at this point now, they were into it. And I think when they bought the bonds, were going to pay, it was 2 to 4 year bonds or 3 to 4 year bonds, and they were going to pay 1 point something percent. And you got bonds now playing way more than that. People started needing their money back, some of it anyway, so they started to pull out money. And then what happened? The rumor started to spread, right? The CEO himself started to call businesses and be like, oh, your money's safe, don't worry about it. So it started to set into panic mode, and people started to run to the bank to get money out. And well, bank was like, we ran out of money. We don't have any more cash on hand to give you. So that's what I'm going to be looking at this week, guys. That's what I'm kind of thinking about this week, to see, kind of what happens and how it all rolls leading into the rest of the week. I'm going to wait. Right now I'm neutral in my stance point. I'm going to, like I said, I gave my levels. If I'm short biased under one price point, I'm long biased under another. And then I'll wait for CPI on Tuesday, react to that. As traders, we're always reactive. We're not going to guess, we're not going to guess. And that's it, staying nimble. I think it's going to be a fun week. I really do think it's going to be a fun week. If you guys aren't on the watch list, if you want to get a more exact thing, like more exact forecast from me, then I'd say sign up for the free watch list, because right now we're just going off of the news that has come out over the weekend and what happened on Friday. So futures haven't opened yet. Futures open later this evening, and that's when we'll start to have more of an idea of what to look for. Here's the link to sign up for the free watch list. Well, Mate, our money's safe, right? So let's say for whatever reason you had $1 million in cash and you wanted to put it in the bank. Just put $250K across multiple banks. You're FDIC insured for $250,000, right? So like right now, I have some money I have money in multiple banks. I have some money in one bank that I've put up here. You know what? And if you guys are interested, they're paying like 4 point something percent on your money. I'll post a link for you. If that bank tomorrow wake up in the morning and it's bankrupt, it's gone, it doesn't exist anymore, I know my money is safe because I have less than 250K in that account. Exactly. So that's what you would do. All of a sudden you came into an inheritance and it was $1 million. You're like, whoa, I'm not going to put all this in one account, right? I'm going to put 250K in Bank of America. I'm going to put 250K in Chase. I'm going to put 250K in Wealthfront. I'm going to put 250K over here, and you just spread it out. We got a few minutes here, guys, before I head out. So if you have any questions or any tickers, if you have any tickers you want me to bring up on the screen, I'll bring it up on the chart and we'll analyze it together. So perfect time for a little Q&A if you want. I'll hang out for a few more minutes. Mate, your name is Russell. Nice to meet you, Russell. I know you've been here before because I remember that screen name. You don't forget that name, man. Come on. Oh, guys, I don't know if anybody new here, but I stream Monday through Friday from 9:15 a.m. until about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we trade live. We do the whole thing in the morning. Meta, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at Meta for you. God, what a bounce on Meta, bro, from those 80s all the way to almost $200, bro. Unreal, man. What a massive bounce. That's incredible. So Meta's definitely going to be affected by this because of the overall market and being in tech stock. So an important level for Meta is absolutely going to be that 170 zone, the mid 160s. You could see here it was previously a level of support right there. Then we traded in and out of it like it was nothing, but right in here. But then it really started to play a role right in here. You can see resistance really kick in at that level there, right? You can see resistance really kick in at that level. That level's right around that 170. Then we sold off, right? Market sold off back in November, October, back of last year. We sold off. It got nasty. We went even lower in November because of Meta's earnings. Then we started to bounce back. And where have we found support so far? Right at that level. I think that if you stay above that level, you know, the stock is going to stay strong. If we break underneath it, then I would fully expect it to come test this 50-day moving average. And I don't think it would hold it, to be honest. I think it would have to probably come all the way back down here to the 150 zone. And man, you don't really have major support probably until $120s and that 137, 140 zone. Those are major support zones or major potential support zones on Meta, especially with that 137, because you can see here was previously a big level here on that bounce back when the COVID days we sold off. And that was support there, and then it turned into resistance right in here. So those would be the levels I'd watch on Meta. I'd watch 170, which obviously it's never to the penny. 150, obviously never to the penny. The 140, not to the penny, obviously, and then the 120s. Those would be the major levels I suspect would hold potential resistance on Meta. As far as support. As far as resistance goes, you clearly have resistance at 190. And then, you know, this $200 zone is going to be a tough level. I mean, just it's the psychological $200 level plus previous resistance here on the daily chart. Right from back here. And that goes back to, what does that little box show up? That goes back to summer of 2022. All right, let's clear up this chart again. TPL. This thing sold off a lot already. Good Lord. It's got room down here to 1600. Definitely has room down there. That could be a good potential bounce, or at least a temporary bounce zone. I don't know what's going on with that, you know, with that company. I say it's a Texas Pacific Land Trust. I know it's the energy sector. I know that energy got hit pretty much lately. I mean, it had a massive bull run, and then, you know, it's been selling off lately. I think energy is still going to be a strong sector over the next 2 to 3 years. Now, potential support up here at 1770, but obviously we're underneath that. Yeah, 1600 could be a good level for a little bounce play. That one could be. You know what? Let me see something here. Oh, here you go. Here's tomorrow's live stream. If you guys go there and you hit the like button and you click notify, tomorrow you'll get that notification when I'm live in the morning. When I'm live in the morning. All right, it's 2:07 p.m. guys, so I'm gonna start getting ready to head out here and enjoy the rest of the Sunday with the family. If you guys have any other tickers or any other questions, you know, I'm glad to stay here another few minutes and go over it. I'd be more than happy. Yo, Russell, you too, guys, my man. Guys, all right, so if there are no more questions and Q, let's go ahead, take a look. Whoops. So the Qs, you know, it's the same thing really as the SPY in the sense that I would expect further downside, but the levels I would watch on this one, it's all going to depend on how we open up tomorrow. I would definitely be watching that 295 for resistance. You don't really have any major support until about 280. The reason why I would say it's major is look at this previous support there and here and in here, right? So I'd watch that 280 zone for possible support zone. If you do somehow break under 280, which is it's very possible, I really would not be surprised to see this thing get right back to 270. And I have to imagine 270 holds. Unless this whole banking fiasco and a lot of big name tech companies like Roku get slapped up because of it, I'd have to expect 270 to hold. Now, if you start to see contagion take place, okay, and another bank go down, and another big company like Roku be like, oh crap, you know, we got 30% of our cash with this bank. We got 15% of our cash with this bank. We got, you know, we got 35% of our cash. If you start to see that, man, all bets are off. We're gonna have to reevaluate everything, because at that point I would not be surprised to see the Qs break underneath the lows. Now, if tomorrow we open up and we open up above 290, I wouldn't be surprised to see a push to 295, hold, and then it all depends on CPI data on Tuesday. It just all depends on CPI data on Tuesday, and it all depends on what the Fed does later this month, right? Or what they do if they randomly just do an emergency Fed meeting before the FOMC meeting that we have later this month. We got to really wait until tomorrow and Tuesday. Tomorrow and Tuesday are really going to set the pace for the rest of the week. Tuesday is absolutely crucial, and tomorrow's price action is absolutely crucial, right? It's going to set the pace for everything. Right now, we're just looking at levels and being like, okay, these are the levels I'm going to watch, and I'm going to react depending on where we're at. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right, guys. Well, tomorrow morning, like I said, 9:15 a.m., I will be live. So I hope to come see you here in the channel, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel so that you're notified. And any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Remember, Trade Ideas has 25% off. This just came out on Friday, and it's going to end in 8 days, I just saw. So I wouldn't wait too long. 25% off only comes across the board a few times a year. This is the first time they do 25% off that I've seen. Although I think the beginning of the year they did 125. So if they do 25 now, I would imagine they won't do another 25 until probably late summer or the fall. So I jump on that, guys. All right. Any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to swing by the Discord, it's completely free. There is no paid walls on the Discord. There you go. Bang. Free Discord. Come on by, say hi. Let's talk shop. I'll see you all tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Peace.